And Steve from Boonville is on the line.
Good morning, Steve.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, I've got some maiden grass. I want to transplant.
Yes?
It's about 1.5 feet tall. Is it too late?
Absolutely not. In fact, I don't know how old it is, but you could probably quarter it with a spade. They're very, very hardy, very resilient, and you could probably make 4 plants out of one. And they can grow in just about any soil, so enjoy it, have at it, and see what happens. But you won't lose them. Just water them in real good when you're finished. Yeah.
Okay. Do we have another caller on the line? I heard the phone ring.
So many people ask the question, what do you really do? Okay.
Go ahead.
So many people ask, what do you use these for? And these are obviously trimmers. These are hand pruners. You can get them just about anywhere. But why I brought them on board today is simply to remind you when and when not to trim things and try and put dates with it. Right now we have one of the prettiest springs we've ever had that I can remember of recent years. And the azaleas are blooming. There are other plant materials that are blooming. And you're wondering, when do I trim so I don't lose my blooms for the following year? And I know you've heard this a number of times and you could probably repeat it. But here's a simple rule of thumb. If you have plant material that blooms before May 30th, before the end of this month, and it blooms, and it needs to be trimmed back because it's misshapen or just leggy or too large, you trim it back before May 30th. If, on the other hand, the plant material blooms in the summertime after May 30th, crepe myrtle, some of the viburnums, the butterfly bush, etc., wait until November to trim them. If you follow those 2 rules of thumb, you'll never lose blooms because of your trimming.
That's a good one to remember.
Yeah, it really is.
May 30th date and then a November date. Okay, yes. Jay from Owensboro is on the line.
Morning, Jay.
Hi, Charlie.
Hello.
I'd like to know what will kill wild onions.
Okay. Wild onions can be killed by, there are chemicals that are growth regulators, dicamba, 2,4-D. Some of them are not allowed now, but if you have a whole passel of onions out in an area, an easy thing to do is simply bruise them because they have a paraffin-like surface on them, and not a lot of things can get through that. So the first thing you do is either mow them or bend them over, and then simply wipe full strength some Roundup on them. That will translocate down into the bulbs and you won't have to fool with them again. So then after you've done that, you wait a couple, 3 days, you'll see which ones you've possibly missed. Then you go back into the area and do the ones that you've missed. It's really kind of fun because you watch getting rid of them and you have a control over it. But that's the way I would do it. Roundup, I think, is really the answer.
Okay. Dale from Newburgh is on the line.
Morning, Dale.
Morning, Charlie.
Good
Charlie,
morning.
I have a question for you. Last fall, I talked to you about a soft maple tree, and you told me to get these fertilizer sticks and put in the ground around it.
Yes, sir.
Well, I put them in, and the leaves on the tree are green and have a yellow tint to them on the end of the leaves. What is causing that?
There is probably a lack of some trace element that has not been taken care of yet. I would wait to see that maybe the fertilizer spikes did not have in it. The yellow tinge says one of 2 things. It's a lack of boron, or it's a lack of, again, a trace element, or it's just a juvenile or young leaf and you are observing it going into maturity. So what I'm saying is I would wait probably a good 2 weeks until the leaf matures and see if it's the kind of color that we expect it to be then. And if not, then I would look towards possibly putting a good all-purpose fertilizer down and seeing what effect that has.
Okay.
But I don't think it's an insect or it's a fungus. I don't think there's any problem with that.
Okay, we're going to be back with Charlie taking the calls, just like that. Okay.
I'll be back.
We've been
He can say it. Rhodes can say it Ronnie can say it a whole lot better than.
Can he?
I'll be back. See, there you go.
Good.
Yeah.
I'll be
He's
back.
over there eating an apple.
Yeah, that's right. This is his time when he usually does that. Okay, our next caller on the line here. Let's take a
You are so efficient.
Oh, I see I scratched his name out. David.
Morning, Dave.
Good morning, Charlie.
Good morning to you.
Couple of nice butterfly bushes. They most of the branches are dead. Cut them back. The smallest one's got green shoots coming out of the bottom. The older one, I don't know. Is there any hope for it? Doesn't look like there's anything coming back.
Okay, I would hit it with fertilizer, whatever fertilizer you may have, as long as it doesn't have any weed killer in it. 12, 12, 12, 10, 10, 10, Miracle Grow. Put it around there, water it in, because I think that butterfly bush is going to come back. And you're better off waiting for that butterfly bush to come back with the roots that they developed last year than putting a new one in. So I say patience, trim everything back to that height, and that thing will really take off if it's alive at all. And I found 90% of the time the butterfly bush and the crepe myrtle are really alive. We just got to give it time. It's a late spring.
Crepe myrtle, late spring.
All of those deciduous plants are coming up later this year because it takes so long for the soil temperatures to warm up. And that's really the barometer in growth. When the soil temperatures start warming up, that's when everything starts growing.
Well, you're right, though. It seems like a particularly vibrant spring.
Oh, my goodness.
Beautiful. Yeah, everywhere.
And I remember 3 years ago when everything bloomed at the same time in 2 weeks, and then it was it.
Yeah. And you know what's interesting? Even like the dogwoods are still holding on.
I
the
know
bloom
it.
And the
I
azaleas.
know it.
You're right. You're right.
Yes.
Mary from Owensboro. I know the names of the trees, Mary.
Yes, Mary.
And what's
Hello, Charlie.
Hello, Mary.
First of all, I just want to tell you I enjoy you so much on TV.
Oh,
And
you made my day. I really appreciate that. I really do.
You really do. Now, my question is, I have a pecan tree that year before last, or has been, producing a lot of pecans, or big pecans. Last year, they had hardly any little ones with wormholes on it. Is it too late? Have I waited too late to spray it?
No, because the leaves are still really small, are they not? The leaves are small, so therefore I would say you're not too late to spray it. Now, I would go to a Superior Ag on Mill Road, or call them, because I'm not up with the material you use to spray your pecans. They do. Superior Ag at the corner of Mill Road and St. Joe can give you the exact information as to what you spray for your pecans to make sure they're everything you want them to be this year. We had bumper crops in pecans. I saw a number of plantations of pecans in this area, and last year was we just had a mega amount of pecans here. Okay, I'm losing myself there.
I'm just trying to figure out how much time we have left.
I'm sorry.
But you're right. No, pecans, pecans, however you want to
I
pronounce it.
don't know how you pronounce it. I really don't.
I think it's a little bit different everywhere. But we are going to come back after the break, and we'll talk about what you brought
Yes,
here.
yes.
Morning headlines up next. You're watching Local 7 Lifestyles on WTBW. Garden Guy Charlie Stalker is here, and tell me about what you brought along here.
Coral bells are really a popular planting, and normally they think of coral bells as being the flower, the coral bell flower. The fluorescence, as we call it in botany, but it's really the leaf that people go after, and this probably is one of the most popular and sought after coral bells. The genus is called a Heuchera, and this is called caramel. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous?
It is.
Caramel.
And the underneath.
You get a little wind, and then you have that bicolor look. But if you're, it's always good to do plantings like this in groupings of 3. You just get more of a mass color, and it really expands. 1 looks like 1, 2 looks like 3, and 3 looks like 5 or 6. So the caramel coral bell is really a neat plant that you can use in your landscaping, stays low, comes back year after year. This particular plant we've had problems with this past year. Always in the past, they come back. They're considered a perennial. This is a Verbena Homestead Purple, one of my favorite ground covers. Doesn't get up much higher than about 8 inches. But I think every place that we planted it this past year, we've lost it. And we've said that it's a perennial, so we have a lot of replacements to do. So for those of people who we've done landscaping for, know that these will be replaced for you, but it absolutely blooms from mid-May all the way to the killing frost. And if you mulch it in real good at about that point, around the killing frost of this fall, it should come back next year. So those are the two plants of report today.
Now, okay, this doesn't bloom. This is just like a...
It does bloom, but it's incidental to the plant. You really don't notice the bloom. It's the foliage that you really want to go after.
Well, and I think it's important that you note that the way things look when the wind blows. You always talk about that, and the way that things move, and incorporating taller plants that move and whatnot, because it does
Very
something
good.
that makes your landscape look great.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Pretty good.
Well, you have a great weekend.
You have a great weekend.
You too.
You're going to be at Channel 9 Auction.
WNIN,
Yes,
Action
okay.
Auction, Saturday night. Tune in. Okay, thanks, Charlie.
Thank you.
Check in with Ron.
Evansville Regional Airport brings you Destination Weather.
We have got no problems at Evansville Regional Airport this morning. 6 o'clock, right on time. Flight took off to Chicago. Got a few clouds up there in the Windy City, but no reports of any major delays at O'Hare. Down in Atlanta, they got a little bit of rain out there and some clouds too, but no reports of any delays, major